in the last week, I've had agents remote into 2 of my machines and change things.
Okay.
I was there on one case and haven't stopped it. So I just don't think that should be not one of the questions. I would like it if the agents would say, well, do you have an LSP? Maybe you should contact them. There's an issue here that's greater that maybe they need to look into before I go remoting into your machine.
So, okay, but you're confusing 2 things. So remoting into the machine is not the problem.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to.
No.
Changing settings.
Changing settings is the problem. So let's be careful, okay? Because I don't
want
want this to be a conversation about remoting in.
I don't want anybody from Perceptive remoting into my machine.
Okay, so you need to tell your users that. Okay, because as a general rule, from the help desk, we will remote into machines if we need to. It's a viable, it's a good tool for us to use. It's akin to you have an issue and I get to walk up beside you, or I get to sit down at your machine and work your machine. It's an efficient way to do help desk support.
And has Perceptive signed non-disclosure agreements with the university information?
Yes.
In each and every case?
All the agents sign the same disclosures that all of you do.
Because that's the other thing that's exposed. Potentially.
They sign all the same agreements you do.
Wayne, I'd be more worried about Dropbox than Perceptus.
And we have a contract with Perceptus. I mean, it's a business relationship too.
Well, and honestly, I just don't leave enough time for David to move on, but it's an interesting topic. It's one that probably we should get together and have a little roundtable to talk about.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, saying if you have an LSP, and then go to the LSP is not a good answer in all cases, because not all SPs have the same level of capability, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there's some real issues to hash out here. We'll be happy to do it. We can set up a roundtable with LSPs to kind of talk about some of the issues with remoting in and or secure builds and all, and start working the issue.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think there, for some of you at least, I know you want your users calling for particular issues. You might not want to handle an integrated system question. But, to your point.
I usually don't. And when it comes to system integrated, when it's inside the system, they can get negated within here. It's the functionality behind the scenes. Then I know it's something on that end. It's something I can do for them. I know that.
Yeah. Okay. But it's a good point, Keith.
Yeah, but
So,
sometimes the internet settings have to change. Just because you got in there, things don't always work in the integrated system, and you have to change an internet setting.
or Java updates and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm going to have an agent turn off protected mode.
I think we should follow up with this.
Yeah, there's a separate meeting. I agree. That it is an issue
I hear
to
the
look
concerns.
for.
And I don't want the help desk, mucking up your machines either. That's not my point at all.
And you're going to get different opinions. You've got LSPs who have 500 machines to take care of. You have others that have 20.
Right.
And that's where that difference is going to come in, because the folks of us who have between 20 and 50 machines, sometimes we're a little more willing to be hands-on every single one of them, as opposed to when we have 500, it's just physically possible, in which case, turning it over to Susan, that's really makes sense.
Well, and I think to Doobie's point and Chris's point, you have and also to Wayne's, you have people that have different access to different levels of information and need for security on there. And so it's definitely a follow-up.
Yeah.
I don't want the help desk mucking up Chris's computers, I'll say that. I don't want to deal with that. Let Chris deal with that. I'll skip this. We talked about this. But just a reminder that you have a couple ways. You can chat, email, web form. They're all on ITS Web. Also, there's a link. This is an easy way to get to the metrics. This is an old picture. There's a link there for the metrics too on the bottom. The other thing you can see, we added another metric just recently, which are the top 5 help desk cases that are coming in the last week. Okay, I've said it a couple times, but if you have feedback, if you have issues, you can contact me. It's my email address, phone number. I look at all of them. If you send me a case, and what I like to do is dig into, somebody says, I had this issue, I want to dig in and see what happened, and why did the agent do that? Maybe they've been instructed to remote into those machines. So we need to figure that out too, if we need to change it. So you can send feedback to me. Everybody get that? You can find me. How much time do we have? Not much. I came up with some questions, but maybe we'll just open it up to you guys.
I think the second one's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. The answer is you can't. Sorry. I know this is a question that's come up before, and I wanted to make sure that I said again that there's no way to see the status of the tickets. But what I'm working on I mentioned they're upgrading their tool, and they've talked about having different views into tickets. And so this is something I want to explore is can you take, if we can figure out how users relate to the LSPs, is that a view that we can give to an LSP to see the tickets? That'd be pretty cool. They don't have functionality today, and we won't put it in the current system because they're both doing the system. Surveys go out for every ticket. I think I say this every place I go. They really do. I'm not making this up, so I don't know where they go. Some people get them, some people don't. They really do go out for every ticket. We get about a 9-10% response rate, which is good.
So when you go out, do you ever get kicked? You don't see any kind of email kickback? The survey went out and it came back?
Get bounced.
It bounced.
Well,
You don't do technical terms.
we don't. Well, I guess we would, but the truth is, we get the user's ID and their email address, so they should get it. I mean, there shouldn't really need to be any reason to close the loop on that.
And do the surveys go out once the ticket is resolved?
Yes.
So if I have several calls in,
You know which
it's
one's
hard
yours.
for me to know which one it is, and then if
Yep.
it takes a couple of months, then I get a survey. I just had one where we got lost somewhere, not in the list, but.
Yeah, I saw the results. I reviewed the results. I saw that one.
Yeah, low enough that you can see it.
Yeah, so that can cause a timing issue. There are some tickets that get referred to groups, and our instructions are to resolve the ticket. And this frustrates users to no end because they get a link to a survey, and they're saying my issue's not resolved. So we get bad scores on those.
Isn't that used to be that way, but you change, instead of making them resolved, they now say assigned?
It depends. It depends.
Okay, because that's what I see most of
They're
the time, is they've
very-
been assigned.
Yeah. There are very few groups that we resolve and then send somebody, but there are some cases like that. And I can totally understand why users
Yes.
are upset that. I thought your other point, Aaron, was going to be, I get multiple and I don't know which issue, and that's an issue as well. It would be nice if they had some kind of summary, ticket summary. Because for you guys, if you guys are having a lot of tickets, or if you have a user who's, I've also seen where the user called in, a new ticket was opened, they responded to the survey before the second ticket was resolved, and so their issue actually got resolved, but the first survey was terrible because we didn't resolve my issue. So anyway, I don't want to get into too much specifics there. Susan?
I have two questions. When you are tabulating the results of surveys, is there some kind of adjustment based on how many surveys are actually returned? Like if you send out 100 surveys and you only get responses to 25, you know that you're not getting an accurate.
Oh, like an accurate sample? No, we don't. And we measure it at an aggregate level